in the bonus on the Pistons. They've already won more games this year than the last 2 seasons combined, and here are some reasons why. Under first-year head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, the team's defensive efficiency, it has improved from 25th last season to 11th this year. They've gone from the bottom 4 to top 4 in paint points per game allowed. This offseason, the Pistons also acquired veteran shooters Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr. That's helped them improve from bottom 5 in three-point shooting up to 12th. And the NBA, it's a stars league. This year, Cade Cunningham has taken a leap to an all-NBA level. He's one of 2 guys to average 25 points, 9 assists this season, along with the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic. So let's take a listen to Cade Cunningham.
This is everything that we wanted to do is, turn this franchise, restore this franchise, what we said a lot. And so to see it come into fruition now is a great thing. I'm happy for the city. But, I'm not satisfied at all. I think there's still a lot more work to do. I think the city wants to see a lot more. The city wants championships. And so we're slowly building towards that.
We're the Pistons. We got to get our respect through continuing to show the world. And we're not done.
Kendrick Perkins joining us for this conversation as well. I think that Malik Beasley's right. The Pistons know they have to earn this respect, Wendy. How good can this team really be?
Well, a couple of things. First off, Cade Cunningham, even in the history of the Pistons franchise, where you've seen some guards that have gone on to be Hall of Famers, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Chauncey Billups, he's having an incredible season. He's having one of the most prolific seasons by a Pistons guard ever. He's probably headed for All-NBA consideration, already been an All-Star. That's one. Secondly, this is a very hard team to play against. They rough you up on the interior. They have a lot of size. Jalen Duren is huge. We know Isaiah Stewart is in there pounding guys away, plays very hard. Tobias Harris, talk about the best revenge is living well, Malika. How do you think the 76ers feel about watching Tobias Harris go to Detroit and have success? And not only that, but Beasley is one of the best signings that we've seen all year. $6 million. He was okay for the Bucks last year. They couldn't afford to keep him. The Pistons come in, get one of the best value signings you can see. He's been a terrific addition. This team is 6th place with eyes on 4th. 1 year ago today, February 24, they were 9-49. Look at him now.
They're very athletic. They have good defense, great rebounding. They get out in transition. But, Perk, we've talked about this being a stars league, and Cade Cunningham is blossoming into a star. And you have a very interesting Hall of Fame comparison for Cade Cunningham. Who is that?
Well, Malika, don't act like me and you wasn't sitting on that NBA, doing the NBA draft together, and I was getting crucified on the internet because I made the comparison and said that Cade Cunningham reminds me of Grant Hill, a healthy Grant Hill. This man is a young superstar on the rise. He checks all the boxes. He does it all. If you want the scoring, he's going to give you buckets. If you want the dimes, he's going to do that as well. And he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he's a great leader. Look, on top of that, the physicality that he plays with. They have a swag with them that I love. They're instigators and not retaliators. They don't mess around. And when you have a young rising star like Cade Cunningham leading the charge, you have an opportunity to not only get into the playoffs, but definitely go in there and make some noise and possibly pop somebody in the first round and get to the second round because you have a guy that could take over like Cade.
Well, I'll tell you this, Perk. There's one player to average 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in a season in Pistons history, and that was Grant Hill. Cade Cunningham is on pace to be the second here. Why could they cause problems for a team in the first round?
Well, right now they're in 6th. They got their eyes going forward, but if you're the New York Knicks, you've already had difficulty with size inside, and you're looking for size yourself. You see the way that the Pistons play. I wouldn't say it's a comfortable matchup for them. So, but I'm going to say, they've got a cushion on 6th. I think they're definitely headed to avoid the play-in, which would be amazing to say. And they are right on the heels of Indiana and Milwaukee. If those teams have a bad week or two and the Pistons keep winning, we're talking about them chasing potential home court in the first round.
Yeah, and the Pistons, if you have not been watching them so far this season, now is the time. It is not too late. It's time to go coast to coast on last night's action, starting with the Thunder rolling into Brooklyn. After a brutal collapse against Minneapolis on Monday, the Thunder bounced back with a dominant fourth quarter against the Nets, scored 39 points in the period. Windy, how important was this response for a young team that's trying to prove they're legit?
This is kind of what they do. When they get down by double digits this year, they're 13-7. They came back from 18 down in this one. They're 4-4 and they get down by 15. So I know they got criticized for blowing that big lead, but they've also been practicing coming back in games, which may be useful in the playoffs as well.
Absolutely. All right, to Sacramento. That's where last night Utah's Walker Kessler joined Nikola Jokic as the only players in NBA history to record 25 or more points, 10-plus rebounds, 5 or more assists, 0 turnovers, and shoot 100% from the field. So, Perk, what impresses you the most about the big man?
Well, Malika, it's a reason why a lot of title contending teams wanted this young stud, because he does it all from a center aspect. And it's a reason why Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz wanted a full package for him. But this man is special. He's a diver to the basket, high IQ, great rim protector, cleans the glass like a fresh bottle of Windex. Love everything about him.
Well, let's make a stop in Toronto. That's where Tyrese Haliburton had 33 and 11. Don't look now, the Pacers, they've won 4 of 5 and have themselves sitting at 4th in the Eastern Conference, passing Milwaukee. Windy, how much pressure is on Haliburton to keep up this level of play?
Maybe he can. He was disappointed, obviously, to not make his 3rd straight All-Star game, but since he came back from the All-Star break, 26 points, 12 assists a game on 63% shooting, 53% from three-point range, and obviously a dominant performance setting up guys and shooting in this game.
In another universe, Brian, we could have been talking about how, okay, this was a valiant effort for the 76ers without Joel Embiid, maybe if they were up in the standings, but that's not what happened here. What stood out to you the most?
Yeah, when you're lost 9 in a row, it's tough to give you credit for much.
Right.
But, you know, we talked a lot about what the Knicks aren't the last week or so. Let's talk about what they are. What they are is a really good home team, and Jalen Brunson is an MVP candidate. He's not going to win it, but he's top 5 on my ballot for exactly nights like this. In the first quarter, they didn't have Karl Towns. He got Bridges going, gave him 6 assists in the first quarter. In the fourth, when they got in trouble, he carried them home. What else do you want from a franchise star than a guy who can take a 50-50 game and carry you to victory? The Knicks have challenges, but they've also got a lot going for them, and one of them is that dude.
Man, I would have loved to see Perk. Can you just, what was your face when he just said an MVP candidate? I would have loved to see it on camera.
I forgot. I make so many faces. I don't even know
what
what
stood
I
out
did.
to you in this one?
But what stood out to me the most is that the Knicks can be a very good basketball team when guys are being stars in their role. We know what Big Body Brunson is capable of doing. He's one of the best closers in the game when it comes to the fourth quarter. But I look at Mikal Bridges and I'm looking at OG Anunoby. And what the Knicks need those guys to do is be elite defenders. That's how they earned their name. That's how they got their reputation in the league. Can they score points on certain nights in the NBA? Absolutely, they can have some big scoring nights. But if they buckle down and accept their role and be stars in their role, then they give the Knicks a better chance, especially when Mitchell Robinson comes back, of actually trying to compete with Boston and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
On the other side of all of this, Paul George, he had 17 of his 25 points in the second half. He played 42 minutes, his first 20-point game here in over a month, Perk. He said that he is done with the podcast for now. He wants to just focus on his play, being able to sort of get right. What do you make of all of this?
I actually love it from PG. I mean, look, again, winning at a high level is hard, right? And it comes with sacrificing. Sometimes it comes with sacrificing a lot of your life outside of basketball. And so, again, do I love Paul George on the microphone? Is he an educated man when it comes to speaking the game of basketball? Absolutely. But I also want to see Paul George be the Paul George that we've grown to love, a Paul George that's been one of the elite players around the league, and he hasn't been that. So whatever it takes to get back to that space, to focus on your craft and keep the main thing, I'm all in for it.
I wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them down, try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, ESPN.